new phase in their developmental stage that should be honored or recognized in some way. And I know that with my own children, one year we all got together with a group of different homeschoolers and created special bookmarks, and on the bookmarks we put like pictures or little mementos of things that represented something that they had accomplished during their homeschool year, and then we laminated them and presented them to the kids in a little ceremony that we had at the house, and we just had juice, punch and cake afterwards, but that was just a way for us to celebrate what we had accomplished that year together as a homeschooling group. So that would be one way to do it. Another is to have a very private ceremony, just at home, and just have a nice dinner and recognize the passage or recognize their accomplishments as they achieve things. Maybe you don't recognize necessarily that they've gone through, a year like school does, where it doesn't matter what you accomplished, the fact that you made it through the year is what's being celebrated. In this case, instead, if they decided to tackle a particular subject or a particular area of interest and they have achieved some skill in that area, then of course to recognize it in some kind of a special ceremony where they everybody in the family might prepare ahead something to say to them that compliments them on their achievement, and then maybe you give them a gift if that's appropriate, or just praise sometimes is enough, or just recognition sometimes is enough. So I think it's really
these rites of passage are really just a way to stop the clock, isn't it? And to focus on that child, that student, and acknowledge their accomplishments.
Exactly, and I think that is much more valuable and meaningful to recognize some individual's personal achievements than to just say, well, gee, you just went from grade 4 to grade 5. What does that mean?
And plus, I suppose we should be role modeling that ourselves, too, when we set goals and we achieve a goal. Sitting down and, having the sparkling cider at dinner tonight because Mom reached her goal at work or something like that as well.
Of course. You model this for the kids, and they do it in their own, bring it into their own lives with their own friends and out into the extended community, and as a result, the whole world's better off.
Especially for the caller, I get the impression that she probably homeschools throughout the year, and that homeschooling is just a natural extension of their daily life. So, like you said, perhaps the best option for her family is noting particular accomplishments and then having some kind of little celebration or acknowledgement of them.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, too.
And we're talking about graduation, too. Not everybody has a graduation ceremony. For some people, it is they go and they travel. For some people, it's acceptance into college. There's, different events that take place to move from going from a teenage into the adult world. I'm going to open up the call again, Diane. Let's take some more questions. That was just excellent. Hello, do you have another question for Diane Flynn Keith? Good. Can you, Diane, can you hear everyone?
Yes, now I can.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Diane Flynn Keith? We're talking about socialization.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I hated to let this moment pass without commenting, especially being the summer, that camp is also a wonderful opportunity for children and socialization. If you're concerned about your children not being exposed to interacting with other children, and most camps usually have multi-age groups, so they're interacting with children of various ages and also counselors who serve as role models. Speaking specifically, my children attended a religious-affiliated camp for a month this summer, and that was a new experience for us, for them to be away for so long, but it was a fabulous experience, and I think everyone was a little concerned with them going away that, they're homeschooled, so they're not going to adapt well, and the exact opposite was the case. I got glowing letters from their counselors that they were very mature and ended up being leaders in their groups. I think sort of puzzled and bemused the people that were expecting less than that from them. So anyway, I just hated to not mention, especially with it being the summer, that that's also a great opportunity for our children.
The summer camps, you're right, they're big business. Day camps, computer camps, away from home camps.
Yes, and you can find them listed in parenting news magazines. You'll find all kinds of resources for camps for kids, as well as if you go online and just Google, camps for kids, and your state name or your city name, you'll come up with all kinds of suggestions as well. I always think it's a good idea, too, to ask around to your friends and find out what camps their kids enjoyed. And what's really interesting about camps these days is that they're not just, a nature camp where you do arts and crafts anymore. They have academic camps and computer camps and of course, specialty sports camps and all kinds of science camps and, astronomy camps and wonderful opportunities for kids. And along that same line, I know a lot of homeschoolers who actually attend summer school during the summer and go to regular summer school to get a feel for what school is really like, for those kids who are constantly saying, gee, I'd like to try school, I want to go to school, and the parents don't want to send the child to school, but maybe wouldn't object to them having a school-type experience. Summer school sometimes is one solution to that problem.
Thank you for your question. I can't, now I'm kind of confused on my own. Are we in the live mode now? Can you hear us? Can somebody say something?
Yeah, I'm here.
Wonderful. So you're here, Diane.
Yeah, I'm here.
I wonder if it's so quiet. I wonder if we're in lecture mode. People are always so polite about it.
I can hear you both.
Okay, excellent.
And I actually have another question.
Yes, please.
I have 3 children, but I have friends that just have one, and they're concerned about homeschooling their single child. I can't relate to that, so I don't know what to tell them.
Oh, that's an excellent question. So, Diane, yes, what about if you only have one child? Can you still homeschool?
Of course. And again, if we remember that socialization skills are modeled by adults in the ideal environment, they're modeled by adults. So parents, again, modeling social skills for their only child and then making sure that they provide lots of opportunities for that child to interact with extended family and the community and other homeschoolers. And again, it's about getting connected to provide those kinds of social opportunities as we've discussed before. I've known a lot of homeschoolers, only child homeschoolers, and they're beautifully socialized and very mature and have lots of self-confidence and ability to interact with all different kinds of people.
What about those families who live in a very rural setting?
I think, again, if you're in a really rural setting so that you can't access, say, homeschool support groups, then it's really important, I think, to get online and to at least get some interaction, support, and encouragement from other people via email or via the discussion boards. I think that can really provide the kinds of encouragement and opportunities to air frustration and things. Because remember, what those are for are socialization opportunities for parents, because parents need socialization just as much as their children do. And yeah, if you isolate yourself too much in homeschooling, it can be the kiss of death, and that is especially true for parents. You have to have at least one homeschool buddy, somebody that you can just, celebrate your joys with and not feel like you're bragging, but that they know you well enough to know that you're just proud as you can be of your kids and what they're accomplished, and somebody that you can just cry on their shoulder when your kids just refuse to do anything that you suggest, or you're just exhausted, or whatever the problem is that day in homeschooling.
When you feel like nobody learned anything.
When you feel like nobody's learned everything, and that's not true, but you feel that way, and it's really nice to have other people there to support you and help you out and make you feel like you're okay and it's not just you and you're not crazy.
Well, Diane, we have just 2 more minutes left. Would you tell us a little bit more about your resources and kind of spell out the name for your website and the books you've written? Because you've done so much, I sure would like our callers to know a little bit more about you.
Well, I started out writing a publication called Home Fires, the Journal of Homeschooling, when I first started homeschooling in 1991, and it was a way for me to once again socialize with other homeschoolers by networking with them and developing resources for our kids and co-op classes and field trips and that kind of thing, and to encourage and support one another. That publication, I ceased publishing the hard copy publication in the year 2000 and put it all up online on the website at www.homefires.com, HOMEFIRES. And then out of Home Fires developed, all kinds of discussion groups. So we have the Home Fires Journal discussion group, and we have Click Schooling, where I offer a a review. Thank you. So do 6,000 other people.